Hello, my name is Carolina Vazarelli dos Santos and this is my evaluation for AS Media. So firstly, I'm going to give you a brief brand profile of my magazine. It's targeting one audience of both men and women and basically international music fans, so people that enjoy music from all around the world. It's targeted to quite a young age range really, from 18 to 35. And from BC1, and what BC1 is, it's to classify people from different social grades and income earning levels for market research. So it also, this magazine, it follows the current mainstream. So at the moment there's really teenagers enjoying indie rock, rap, music, pop, and this magazine, especially this issue, goes to Brazilian music because February is the month that they celebrate Carnival. So this issue of I Am magazine will give you a taster of what Brazilian festival is like. And the reason I chose this is because the new generation are listening to such a wide range of music that it almost like gives them a chance to see a new style of music. So this is why I chose Brazilian music for this magazine. So, in what ways does your media product use, develop, or challenge forms and conventions of real media? So, let's first go through a typical convention of a music magazine. So, generally you'll have the masthead, you'll have pull quotes, buttons, plugs. You always have the main image, which is generally a close-up, so that the artist can build interaction with the audience. You'll have information, stories and news, cell lines and barcodes. So this is generally the typical convention of a front cover music magazine, but you can always have more. So also, most magazines, whether they're music or any other magazines, will always follow the rule of thirds. And what this is a guideline for the image should follow. So you divide it into 3 equal parts, and generally the image will be more to the right hand side, so that on the left you can include information. So if we look at a magazine such as Q, we can see that Cheryl Cole most of her face is towards the right hand side. Therefore we can fit more information, more cell lines on the left hand side. Typically in most music magazines the rule of third is something conventional that we use. So, the iFlow, as you can see from Q Magazine, which is the magazine I researched on, which is a pop, rock, hip-hop, jazz magazine, the iFlow is always constant. So, it will lead from the top, it will follow the most important features of the magazine, and it will go towards the bottom. And most importantly, we have eye contact with the audience. So this gains some sort of interaction and builds, it's very eye-catching for the reader to see. So as you can see, Q Magazine is an international magazine. We've got American artists, British artists, artists from Australia. So this is why I chose to do I Am similarly to Q, because obviously my issue is on Brazilian music, so an international music magazine was very common. Other conventions that a magazine can have are buttons. So this is normally snapshots of key information or cell lines in order to build interaction with the artist. Sometimes we also have quotes, so this will immediately make the reader want to read the magazine. So this is my front cover. It's a predominant brand image. It's short, it's a close-up, therefore the reader is going to have some sort of interaction. I Am is our short, catchy, rememberable, sort of unique selling point. So it's easy for our audience to remember, and also will help, if it's short, this means that globally it will be something easy that people internationally can remember. So from different countries, everyone will always remember I Am. Then we have a simple colour scheme of red, black and white. The reason for this is because red and black work really well together. It almost connotes what men and women are. So the red represents the women, whereas the black represents the men, and then the white is really clear to stand out. So as you can see, we have the barcode, cell lines, cover lines, a button, and the main image. So a contents page convention, normally you'll have the title at the top, you'll have editorial pillars with subheadings, and then a cell line on an issue or editor's note, and then you'll have the main image, or it can be small images that will have, which will have numbers of the contents, numbers of the magazine. So this is a typical contents page. So a conventional, we're going to go through a conventional and a not so conventional contents page. As you can see, the pull quotes, this contents page has pull quotes, cell lines, editorial pillars, the page numbers, a small image, but also another one towards the bottom, and then obviously the issue date. And a not so conventional, but still has the same features running through, which is Vibe magazine. First, it's black and white, so sometimes the audience can maybe think it's a bit boring, or there's not so many features. And as you can see, there's the contents page of Vibe focuses just on the artist rather than the information around. However, Q magazine, it's sort of balanced because you have two images and then you have the body text around it. Also, as you can see, both Vibe and Q always have a constant reminder for their audience of what their logo is. So as you can see, Vibe is a V and Q magazine is the Q, and the logo is constantly in all pages of the magazine there. Okay, my contents page, I wouldn't say it's as conventional as it should be. The reason for this is because, similarly to Vibe, it focuses on the model. Although it does have an editorial pillar with the numbers and information, it doesn't have enough images. The reason I did this is because I wanted my audience to feel some sort of interaction with the artist. However, I do have an editor's note, therefore this allows the audience to have more of an understanding of what we've done throughout this issue of the magazine. As you can see, the logos remain the same, and the focus of is very much on the artist rather than the body text. And normally, contents pages will have a mid to long shot rather than a close-up, so that the focus is on the text rather than the image. However, as you can see, my contents page isn't that conventional. Okay, so now the conventions of double page spread. As you can see, they are normally in most double page spreads. You'll have the main image of the artist, you'll have the body text, and then normal features such as the pull quote, the gutter, the body text, the title, and normally the title will include a pull quote. If not, you'll have pull quotes around the body text, and continuously the same CI flow, which follows along the most important parts of the double page spread. And you always have credits on an image as well. So as you can see, the magazine I used, it's not so conventional because more double page spreads have more images rather than more images, a balance of images and text, whereas Q magazine, it's very much the image on one side with the body text on the other. But also, double page spreads will sometimes have an intro page, and this is what Q magazine don't have. And an intro page will often have a pull quote and an introduction to the artist, but Q magazine does this in a different way. So they'll have just the image and then all the body text. And in most double page spreads, you'll have a long shot or a mid shot of the artist, So this we maybe can see what they're doing. This includes their hand gestures, their costumes, and this all portrays the genre of music that the magazine are trying to present. So my double page spread, we have an artist here. The body text is here, the title, the image, we have image credit, the logo continues the same, the name of the artist which goes at the top, and then pull quotes and obviously the body text. As you can see, I followed Q magazines with Lady Gaga and Cheryl Cole, so the image is very much on the left hand side with the pull quote underneath. And then obviously we always want to remind the reader of who the artist is, so that there's this constant interaction to make the reader want to continue reading the magazine. So with Paula, what we did is with her red lipstick, it follows very much the colour scheme of the magazine. Also, we have the P there for her name, which is always a constant reminder for the reader of who she is. The pull quote is something that can very much introduce the artist. So it will have something fun, or something she enjoys, or something that will represent her as a musician. And for that, this will make the audience want to continue reading. So, how does your media product represent particular social groups? So let's start with, in terms of the model representation. As you can see, she is a young girl, which means we're obviously aiming more towards the younger, from the ages of 18 to 35, which is my main target audience. It's both for women and men. However, her eye contact is looking directly towards the reader, so this builds some sort of relationship and engages with the reader. Her hand gestures suggest the sort of artist she is. So let's say we had a rock artist, they maybe have different hand gestures, their costume would be different, and their makeup. So we can tell already, just by her image, what sort of artist she is. The red lipstick, the makeup, the curly hair can almost represent that she's an international musician, which is what we're trying to convey. Also, she's a young current artist, and this is what we're missing in music nowadays. So if we have a gap for this, we need someone that's young, current, crisp in this artist, and she is generally what TV media institutions should need. So in regards to the colour scheme, it's red, black and white. So similar to Q magazine, red is for women, so it's mainly more sophisticated, whereas black is something that men would prefer. And the white is something classic and diverse, so it blends in with everything in the magazine. And also you can see that the red works well for the artist's makeup and many other stuff. And then the font we use is Arial and Reboard, and the Arial is quite simple and effective, and it's easy for someone to read, whereas Reboard brings the current, the young fusion to the magazine, aiming and appealing towards the younger years of our target audience. What kind of institutions would distribute your media and why? So, I looked at other institutions, but I thought Bauer was the key to produce my magazine. It's in a unique position to able and deliver the consumer insight to media professionals. It's a leading brand, and also, most importantly, it works with radio and TV. And obviously, if I want my media platform to increase, then obviously Bauer will be the perfect thing. It also works with many current magazines, such as Q, and they're obviously a leading magazine. It's heavily based with pop music internationally. So as we know, Bauer works with over 15 countries internationally, but it's obviously missing in South America. So if we want something in a country like Brazil or any other countries in South America, Bauer could help to make this product become global. It also knows how to cast an eye over the broader world of music, and no other media institution has radio, TV, online and print edition. So obviously if we want the magazine to distribute and produce successfully, BAUA would be excellent. So how does BAUA work? So they work with 15 international countries such as France, Spain, Italy, Poland, Germany, the USA, Spain, France, Austria, Poland, Portugal and the UK. But also, just in Great Britain, they work with radio stations such as Magic, KISS, CHM Radio, Heat Radio, Smash Hits, and they could effectively make the media platform of IM spread internationally and vastly. Also, their audience, as we can see from Magic and KISS, they work around the range of the younger years, so around 15 to 35, and this is exactly what my target audience is. And if a radio such as KISS is successful today, then I also think that IM Magazine would be perfect to work together in order to create a successful magazine. As you can also see with Smash Hits, the target age is around 15 to 35. This is exactly what IM does as well. And there's also the gender ratio. Although there are more women than men that listen to the radio, that you can see that there is quite a balance. Who would be the audience for your media? So first of all, I'm going to give you a reader profile. It'll be around the age of 18 to 35, men and women, creative young aspire adults who are generally music fans. The social group would be BC1. Some people questioned whether B was really appropriate for this magazine because the target audience was so young. But what IM does is not only do we offer events and articles, we also give you a history background, so people from maybe a higher class would enjoy this and find it interesting to learn something new. Also, we feel that those who are over the age of 30 will be earning something around 40,000 annually. How did you attract and address this audience? So firstly, the language. We want something catchy, fun, crisp, that will immediately aim towards our target audience. So for example, Another Year of Party. This is directly towards young people who want to travel, who want fun, who have finished their exams, who are at university. This is the perfect way for them to have interaction and enjoy the magazine. There's no swearing, which means this already takes it up towards the age of the target audience. And it's also basic conversational English, so it's understandable for all ages. And also, as we can see, it's a very broad and diverse magazine. Doesn't seem to be working, sorry. Okay, so firstly, the colour scheme. How are we going to attract our audience? So green, when I did my first draft of my magazine, it was green, blue and white. And then the bright colours sort of distracted the audience from the text, and they were more focused on other stuff. It was quite messy and the colours crashed. However, I changed to red, white and black. And this is also my unique selling point. It's a classic 3 colours which blend really well together. They're sophisticated and easy to read. It's a fun conversational language which interacts with the reader, and also the fact that we have an artist which is young already motivates our target audience to not only read the magazine but enjoy and maybe get some inspiration out of the magazine. Most features and points within the magazine are based from my questionnaire and market research in order to attract the correct audience. So, 1 second, sorry. Sorry. Sorry about this. Okay, so where did I get my influence from that will obviously attract my audience? So as you can see, this is Q Magazine with Florence and the Machine. So obviously we have Q Magazine, which has a different mixture of genres. So for example, Florence and the Machine, she's indie pop, but the magazine also has Skrillex, which is dubstep. And they're all genres which are current in today's musical society. So this is what I've tried to do with IM in order to attract the right audience. I've got someone like Lady Gaga and Jay-Z to blend in with a new coming artist, so that we have all different ages within our target audience that will enjoy the magazine. As you can see, small things such as their unique selling point, the buttons, the cell lines are all small things that will make the audience want to read the magazine. What have you learnt about technologies from the process and construction of this product? So, what we mainly used when making our product, our magazine, was Photoshop. So this was mainly the page layout that you'd use for A3, so for your front cover, your double page spread and your contents page. But the main tools I used were the text tools, so to put my body text. And then you had cropping, which was to make, so when I would take my images, maybe I was unhappy with the background or too much space, I'd use cropping to make the image a bit smaller. And then paint and the paint gradient and bucket tool to fill in larger sections, such as the box of the IM logo. And then the burn tool, it's a very effective tool which could just make your image look so much more professional. So my artist, for example, had freckles or dimples, and the burn tool just allowed me to remove these to make the image look more professional. So the structure normally of a magazine is you'll have the base, the back of the magazine, then you'll have the logo with the image of the artist, which is a close-up, and then obviously you'll have the cell lines, the pull quotes, the buttons on the left-hand side and the right-hand side, and then of course the barcode. So also, my blogger, I learned how to embed codes from SlideShare, from PowerPoint and PDFs. So what Blog allowed me to do is lay out everything in order of the dates of the work I've done. And then this was my first draft. So in comparison with my first draft and my final draft, this is the change. So obviously, as you can see, it's quite poster form. It won't appeal to the music genre. There's no structure, there's no rule of thirds. As you can see, the kids are just centered in the image. The barcode wasn't, because I didn't have the right brush, the barcode was inappropriate. It's an unprofessional image. For my final image, I used a Canon camera, so obviously it's a lot more professional. The masthead, as you can see, is very Bannon type, and the features are just too big on the front cover. Therefore, this completely dominates over the image, which should be the most important thing. Also, the image is very busy, which means there's too much going on. This can either confuse the audience or it will just distract them from reading the magazine. Also, as you can see, the magazine doesn't represent any specific genre. We can't see immediately. As soon as the reader sees the magazine, they're going to want to see the genre of that specific music. However, with this one, there's just kids with drums, which doesn't specify the exact genre of music. Also, it doesn't follow the C or S I flow, which means the most important parts of the front cover of the magazine are immediately excluded. So this is the difference. You can see that my final draft's a lot more crisp. It conveys immediately the music genre, it's professional, and it maintains to simple conventions as the C-I flow. So, looking back at your preliminary task, what do you feel you have learnt in the progression from it to the full product? So this is my first task, and I've learned how to use more tools in order to create more of a professional magazine. I've learned how to adjust lighting effectively in order to maintain the same amount of hue and saturation on the model's face. So what I did is using the magic, for example, something like the magic tool, helped me to just lighten or change the hue and saturation of the background instead of the background and the model. Using brushes, I found barcodes that matches and blends with the front cover of the magazine. And other features such as buttons and cover lines were formed by using the text and shape tool. And then, like I said before, the burn tool, something very effective which can just make your image look a lot more professional. Thank you.